Spot the debt that's draining you versus the one that actually builds you up. That daily morning coffee on your credit card? It's small, but it adds up. And it's a classic example of bad debt sneaking in. Meanwhile, taking out a mortgage to buy your first home could be shaping your financial future. How can you tell good debt from bad debt and change your money habits for real? The line between them isn't just about interest rates. After this, the next time you swipe your card or consider a loan, you'll see which debts help you get ahead and which hold you back. The debt confusion trap. Ever notice how most people cringe the moment someone mentions debt? You hear credit card and your mind jumps to late fees, sky-high interest, and that sinking feeling at the end of the month. But here's the catch. Not all debt is a trap. Think about a mortgage. When you take out a loan to buy a home, you're not just spending money, you're building equity. That house can go up in value and become a financial asset. Or take student loans. Yes, it's borrowing, but it's also an investment in skills that boost your earning power long-term. The problem? Most folks lump every debt into the same pile of bad. They avoid borrowing altogether, even when a loan could push them forward. Say you pass on a reasonable mortgage because you're scared of debt, but that means paying rent forever. Rent that never builds anything. You're stuck renting your life, paying for a roof that won't pay you back. Here's the thing. Treating all debt like credit card debt keeps you locked in place. It's like refusing to use your morning coffee to fuel the day because you once spilled a cup. Not all borrowing is a burn. The key is learning which debts grow your future income or assets, and which just bleed your wallet dry. But why does debt feel like a trap for so many? That's the real puzzle. And it's where most people get stuck. Let's figure out what makes debt feel dangerous, even when it's not. Why debt feels like a trap. High-interest debt from credit cards does more than drain your wallet. It drains your hope. Picture this. You pay rent, groceries, and a few coffees by swiping your card all month. When the bill comes, most of your payment goes to interest. The balance barely drops. Next month, you owe almost the same amount, maybe more. It feels like running on a treadmill. You move but don't get anywhere. Your money disappears without shrinking the debt. You start to feel trapped, like you're stuck in a cage. You're not holding a tool to build your future. Here's what to do first. Pick one monthly expense you charge just to get by. Then, find a way to cut it or pay cash instead. That small move breaks the cycle. It puts you back in control. What that looks like in real life? That's coming up next. Debt as a tool, not a burden. You're not trapped by debt, but that depends on how you use it. Imagine you take a loan to start a side business selling custom t-shirts. The money you borrow buys screen printers and fabric, which let you make products that bring in cash every month. That's good debt. It adds value. Now picture this. You buy a brand new phone on a high-interest payment plan just because it's the latest model. The phone loses value the moment you leave the store. Plus, you pay extra for the convenience but get no income return. That's bad debt. It drains money without giving anything back. Most people fear borrowing because they see only the risk and the bills stacking up, like the morning coffee habit ringing up on your credit card. But if you shift your view to debt as a tool, you stop fearing it and can start putting it to work. The key is spotting when borrowing buys you something that grows your financial future versus when it's just an expense in disguise. Gregory Wilder, who studies software development, points out how technical debt works the same way in projects. It looks like a shortcut at first, but it piles up and slows you down later. That's what happens when borrowing seems good now, but feels like a trap later. According to the World Bank, The US government's debt is over 115% of its economy, showing even big players wrestle with balancing debt's cost and benefit. How do you tell when a shortcut becomes a problem? We'll get there next. Lessons from software's technical debt. You know how software teams sometimes slap together messy code just to hit a deadline? Researchers like Jacinto Ramirez-Lati point out that this quick fix creates technical debt. Shortcuts that slow down future work. In a 2023 exploratory study on self-admitted technical debt in Android apps, Gregory Wilder showed developers often flag these issues in comments, knowing they'll have to fix them later. Your financial debts work the same way. Not all debts are equal, and trying to dodge every bill just buries you deeper. Think about two debts, one with a 15% interest rate from a credit card, and another with 3% for a car loan. The credit card is the messy code slowing your whole project. It drains every extra dollar you try to save. You don't ignore it, you face it honestly. That's what Rodrigo Rabosas de Almeida calls a business-driven approach to prioritizing debt. Tackling what costs you the most first. You decide to pay down the high-interest credit card while making minimum payments on the car loan. That frees up money faster, letting you fix the bigger problem without freezing your whole budget. Studies by Xiao and Yao on family debt portfolios show this kind of prioritization reduces financial strain. You can handle your debts with this clear view. Which one drags you down most? Start by listing every debt with its interest rate on paper. Look at what costs you the most each month and zero in there. That's your messy code, the bug to squash first. You're already partway there by recognizing debts as tools, not chains. But the biggest payoff comes when you stop avoiding and start targeting the debts that choke you most. Even the US government carries debt over 115% of its economy, according to the World Bank, showing no one escapes this balancing act. What if you could redesign your entire debt strategy to clear the path faster? That part, I'll save for the close. Shaping your debt with a real plan. Now, start by listing every debt you carry. The mortgage, student loans, credit cards, that old car loan. Write down each balance and interest rate. Notice which ones knock the hardest at your monthly budget. Usually, credit cards top that list with sky-high interest, turning a tiny morning coffee habit into a financial anchor. Focus your extra cash on those bad debts first. Pay more than the minimum on your credit cards while keeping up with your mortgage payments. The mortgage is good debt. It builds equity. The credit cards, they just bleed money. This clear split lets you attack the real damage without losing ground on investments that grow your net worth. Imagine it like trimming weeds around a young tree. You clear what harms your roots while letting the tree soak up sunlight. This approach turns debt from a weight into a manageable part of your financial growth. But here's the kicker. How you decide what counts as good or bad debt can change everything about how you handle money next. What if owning your debt choices shifts not only payments, but your whole mindset? Owning your debt choices changes everything. What if you stopped dreading your next bill? Instead, you track every debt like it's part of a plan. You don't have to hide from the credit card statements piling up on your kitchen counter. Open that app or spreadsheet and list them all. See which debts are dragging you down. Like those daily $5 coffee runs on a credit card that rack up interest with no payoff. Then spot where borrowing actually helps. Maybe a student loan that boosts your earning power. Or a mortgage, building equity on a house you live in. That switch changes everything. When you treat money as a tool for growth, not just survival, you stop feeling crushed under debt. You start to see choices, paying off bad debt faster, using good debt to build something lasting. Imagine waking up knowing your money moves forward, not just covering yesterday's expenses. That shift rewires your relationship with cash and opens new paths. You don't just survive the month. You plan how the next month can be different. Here's the thing tonight. Pull out your latest credit card statement. Mark each charge as good debt, bad debt, or just spending. No judgment, just notice. What you find there could start changing your money story tomorrow. You spot the debt that's draining you versus the one that builds you up by asking a simple question. Does this borrowing add to your future or just weigh you down today? Mortgages and student loans often help you grow your net worth or earning power. On the other hand, credit card balances for impulse buys or payday loans with sky-high interest trap you in endless payments. The United States government's debt hit over 115% of its economy in 2024, showing even big borrowers must think carefully. When you learn to tell good debt from bad and make choices that serve your goals, you take control of your money story. Debt turns into a step forward, not a trip up. Start by reviewing your current debts tonight. Pick one bad debt and plan a small move to cut it down. You'll see the difference fast.